I'm Michelle McVitie, Mom the Manager. I am a child life specialist and a parenting coach. And my mission in life is to collaborate with wonderful people like my guest, Alla, today, because we can't do this alone. There are lots of people out there that can support us, but if we don't know about their services, then how are we supposed to get a hold of them and know, wait a minute, this might be my issue? And I grew up in a home where my mom liked to collect things. Things were very important. Things were, yeah, there was a lot of things in our home. So me trying to transition out of that, it's not just getting rid of stuff or organizing things. So Alla is here to support us in decluttering our lives, because you cannot organize clutter. And what does the clutter mean for you? It can open up brand new worlds as a woman and as a mother, so we can enjoy our motherhood, we can enjoy our lives, and decluttering our space declutters our life. So welcome, Alla. Please introduce yourself, and then we will get into some tips and tricks. I can't wait to have this conversation with you.
Thank you so much, Michelle, and thank you for sharing. That was such a beautiful introduction, and thank you for sharing a little bit of your story with Clutter, and that's really appreciated. I always like when people vulnerably share their stories, because that's where the healing happens. So I call myself decluttering teacher. Like, I love helping people realize that material possessions are not meant to bring happiness. Like, happiness and joy is something that we have to find within us. So I'm on this mission of helping mostly mom detach from material possessions and basically find deep, amazing joy coming from within, and also maybe finding the purpose in their life, because so many moms are struggling with overwhelm and stress and anxiety. They feel not appreciated. They don't really know the meaning of their life besides being a mom. So I'm on this mission, and yeah, helping them declutter their lives from material possessions, also from relationships that are not serving us, and also from the internal stuff that is not serving us, so they can step into a new space, raise their vibration, and manifest a different life.
I love that, because I mean, my book, I Quit, Oh Wait, I'm the Mom, is about saying things can be different. But when we're in a snow globe of stress and different people react to clutter and mess, and how we respond to it, we can stay stuck or we can move forward. And when we walk even into our kitchen, after a party, remember when we used to have parties, and you think, I don't even know where to get started.
Yeah.
And some people are like, let's dive into this, or I'm going to clean this before I even go to bed. But a lot of us, me included, we look at that in general. And it's not just the kitchen after a party, it's just life in general, where there's so many barriers from feeling like I'm not overwhelmed. I can get the kids out of the house without us sweating by the time we get in the house, out of the house. No one can find a boot. I feel like I can't go anywhere because my house is such a mess. I need to get this going, and I'm so overwhelmed. So I just shut down and I don't get those things done.
100%. That was such a great example of that kitchen after the party. I love it. I really love it, because so many of us, my client included, they think that they don't have the problem, that it's okay to be messy. Motherhood is messy. So my space can be messy because I have kids. That is a very convenient excuse. But like you say with the kitchen, this is how our mind feels, literally. If we
Yes.
have clutter and messiness around us in our life, in our space, first of all, but also in our calendar, in our email, and all these things is just bombarding, the cortisol levels are rising. Like, it's proven, like it's scientifically proven that the cortisol level is constantly on a high level. And so you are in this fight and fight mode, and that's not serving us. And and our kids and our families.
You're right. And I love that you're making that comparison of, the world is messy, motherhood is messy. It's okay. And yes, of course, we don't want to judge ourselves and say, forget it. Like you need to be able to eat off your floors. However, I agree with that as well, because I try to put my messaging out there that you can have a hard day. I mean, things are messy, things are hard, but when we continue just spinning and spinning, and the whole thing of like, moms especially, it's always wine o'clock. Just drink some wine and then everything it will be fine. Just numb it out. And then we're in this hot mess mom kind of, it's normal, tear in my beer, kind of let's all just be miserable and messy and disorganized. And sometimes it's like that. But if you're always in the red zone, that's not okay. And you can easily slip into other things that can be really scary. So how do we start moving over into the yellow, into the green zone? And decluttering our lives can be that thing, our calm, when we wake up and we know we are clutter-free and organized. So why is it so hard? Why can't we just be clutter-free? Like what is going on? Why?
I love what you said. And yeah, it's not to judge anyone. It's just basically to break through this like stigma, like the
Mhm.
social like the patterns that we're so programmed to repeat. Like, even in life, like you should get married, have a kid, have a house, have a good car, big backyard, and we're just checking off those things. But same time, we're so often disconnected from ourselves, right? We're just like
Yes.
following whatever other people are saying or the news is saying. But is it really good for us? Like, can we really ask ourselves, like, is it really serving me? And I was afraid to ask that question 5 years ago because, oh, what if I'm going to be judged? Like, can I really choose something that works for me?
Right.
Like I was concerned of others people's opinions.
Yes.
So I just want to like relate to that. And the wine o'clock is only something that's going to take the edge off for an hour, right? And then we're going
Right.
to wake up to the same reality. So it's not
Yeah.
really fixing the problem. But
It's not.
so why is it hard? I think it's hard for so many of us because it is not an like so I always say like, is it simple? Yes, it is. But is it easy? No, it's not, because there is so many layers to clutter. And what I've learned from my experience, I went through divorce, so I say that I lost everything to finally find myself. Like I sold everything and I detached from material possessions because I was just buying happiness through so many years. And then I had this painful space within me to address. I was like, who am I? Like, who was I?
Mhm.
Why was I this way? So
Mhm.
I started digging into my past, into my childhood, into my upbringing, healing traumas, healing wounds that I was never aware of.
Right.
So I think the clutter keeps on coming back because we want to do it on the surface level. We want to, participate in those quick challenges. Like, okay, which is nothing wrong with challenges, but again, if we're not gonna address the roots of the problem is gonna surface again.
Right. So how do you get rid of things where you feel like this is almost security for me? How do you get past that? Why do we see things as security?
So we digging deeper, right? So what is security? So again, it's like what does security mean to you? So
Mhm.
the society makes us, or society, like the security is, money in our banking account, the house, and
Yeah.
very like physical things. So my teachings are really a lot of like spirituality, that I'm whole, secure, safe within me, right? And to get
Right.
to that point, you have to do the work. Like you do have to shed the layers that make you believe that I'm secure with this material possession. That's just an illusion, technically.
Mhm.
But to like uncover it, like we have to dig deeper and ask deeper question
Right.
regarding like, maybe I felt unsafe in the past, and maybe I really never had a nice car, or even like in a teenage years, like my mom was very I could go shopping, I think, only once every 3 months. I still
Right.
remember the joy of getting jeans once a year. So that could be something like, okay, I'm going to be shopping now for jeans every month because that was something that was very limited in my childhood. So
Mm.
that's what, like those relations to the past experiences.
Yeah. So some of us could very easily just go through our stuff, get rid of it. But if you are that person that you're like, "Hey, yeah, why do I have 300 pairs of jeans?" That's why they can talk to you, because you're going to go through things to be like, no, this is where it's rooted, and how many pairs of jeans is going to make you feel secure or that you're good enough. And it's not about the jeans, it's about saying, who am I
Yeah,
outside of the
of
jeans?
the jeans.
But I'm kind of lost in my clutter, and I'm lost in this material world of looking a certain way and being a certain way. But on the inside, I'm still unsure, or I'm so overwhelmed in motherhood. This is not what I expected it to be. So I'm just going to continue buying jeans, because eventually that one pair of jeans is going to make me happy. And it does in the moment, but then it fades. So we buy another pair of jeans, right?
Yes, or it can be like, dresses. Like I actually just
Yes.
declutter some dresses because that's another part, that fantasy self. Like, oh, like I should be wearing dresses because I'm a woman and like women wear dresses, but I'm not really a dressy person. So
Right.
I would be buying it. It's like, oh, one day I will put it on because I saw this girl on Instagram and she looks so
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So I'm just relating to my fantasy self because I am not that woman and I am completely
Mm,
different. And it's okay if I don't like wearing dresses. I'm gonna love that part in me that doesn't like wearing dresses. I
yeah.
won't be buying the dresses and looking at them in my closet. So money is spent, the fantasy self is gone. I
Right.
may like I welcome her and like had a chat with her.
Yeah.
And yeah, so no guilt, no regret. And if there's a guilt, it's okay. But probably the guilt is also rooted in some sort of past experiences that we never had the courage to address. Because being sad and shame and guilty is something that we want to quickly run away from. Because
Right.
again, the society makes us believe that we should be constantly happy. But that's not truth. It's okay. Joy doesn't have to leave because sadness is present. So we can allow ourselves to be sad,
Mhm.
to cry if it's needed, and grieve, and yeah, and let go of that shame and guilt feelings.
Yeah. And I love that. It's like when you have one emotion, joy, what is it that you just said? Joy doesn't have to
Joy
leave.
doesn't have no. Joy doesn't have to leave because sadness is present.
Right. I
So
love that.
we don't have to like it's not either or, no, because joy is like a state of being. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to get with my clients to, like, you don't need really going shopping, like nothing wrong with going shopping if you need clothes, obviously,
Mm.
but you don't need those external things to bring that joy within you. Like so often we like, just go and buy that happiness and joy, but
Mhm.
it can be a state of being. And no matter what is really happening in the world, especially right now, like, I'm still joyful, but I cried so much because of Ukraine over the last week,
Yes. Yeah.
and my daughter saw it, and I just that was like a really good lesson for us also to appreciate what we really have,
Yes.
because
Absolutely.
there is like such a tragedy happening right now, and yet especially in Northern America we always want more and more and more, and there's like we have enough, like we have more than enough.
Exactly. And I think that's a great analogy too, to go with our children as well, because more, we feel more is more, right? Especially in North America, where, everybody is kind of in competition for what we have and what it looks like on the outside. And our child is so happy when we go to the store and where we buy them, $6,000 worth of things for their birthday, and have all these extravagant birthdays and things like that, or whatever. Could be anything. And is it really about the things, or is it that quality time that they're going to remember? Are they going to remember the gift that they got?
I don't think so, and that's probably another part with being parents nowadays. We are so busy with
Yeah.
our lifestyle that we don't have time to give quality time to give to our kids. So we want to just unfortunately give it to them, buying stuff, which is
Right.
very sad.
Which is very sad. And I think when you can start doing that within yourself, that guilt doesn't come up. It becomes like children learn what they live. So when we learn to declutter, we learn to deal with, why am I purchasing, all these jeans? Going back to the jeans, it might be something else for you. If I just buy all the containers, I can put all the jeans in the container, but it's not about organizing the clutter. It's about saying, why is this clutter here? Why are the things here? And then once we kind of figure that out, we can instill that routine within our children, but also deal with the guilt that even though society is saying more is more, I can say within myself that this is what I value. And if I value having a great pair of jeans, that's okay, but it's coming because I want to put on a 200 pair of like $200 pair of jeans that are going to feel fantastic, instead of buying a whole bunch that are just like
Yeah,
meh,
for like
right?
50 bucks. Yeah,
Yeah, so there's like
100%.
a difference there. And I think it's all within. And that's where a lot of us are struggling. And that's how you can help. So, how can you help somebody? If I was to come to you and say, look, my whole life was about keeping things. And if we went to the mall, it was always that option. Do you want to eat something, or do you want me to buy you something? And it was never about the eating, where now I'm all about the experience, or buying, yes, like let's have a cupcake instead of buying, well, not cupcake, but something better, like going to the
Experience
pastry,
and
yeah,
stuff. Yeah, experiences over stuff and
yeah,
adventures. Yeah,
yeah. So how do you
100%.
shift into that? Like, how is it that you would help me? Tell me a little bit about your
Yep.
program and what would be
So
that first thing.
yeah, so when I just started as a professional organizer, and I just realized that yes, a lot of people want me to organize their clutter, which is just impossible. So
Yeah.
I knew that there is a deeper work to be done. So I finally now like finalized my program. So I have a very simple 9-step program that I guide my clients through, that is currently launching. So I give it around 3 months to work with mostly moms through 12 sessions, 12 steps, and you're just moving through physical clutter to internal clutter, and then raising our vibration and bringing like a different new way of living. Because the less we have, the more time, the less is always more. So the less we have, the more time we have. And I'm passionate about working with moms because I believe that if they declutter and simplify, they will find time for their kids, and they won't have to feel guilty, and they will be worthy from within. So the social dogma is not gonna really bother them. And I know how it feels because I am this mom, this intentional mom. So I always have to have this chat with my daughter, like, well, we're gonna go away for a surfing trip. We're not gonna be buying, thousands of gifts. We're just gonna create an experience that we'll never forget. And
Exactly.
it's something that is not in fashion
Mhm,
because
mhm.
kids are so used to like going shopping literally on every Saturday. They want to go shopping.
Yeah,
Especially,
yeah.
I don't know, my daughter is 11, so she constantly sees her friends sharing what they got over the weekend with clothing and stuff like that. So I always, especially in that age, like they grow so fast, they really don't need that much clothes because they're outgrowing them within like 3 months.
Yes, yes. And their parents need to come to you so they're not buying so much and having more
Yes,
experience with their children, right? But we do things for different reasons. It's how we were brought up. And then
exactly.
we can change the cycle though, Ella. I think
It's all
that's the
about
great
like
thing.
having courage to change things, right? It's not
Yes.
an easy process. It's a very
Yeah.
triggering process, but
Yes.
through triggers we grow, right? We want
Mhm.
to change, grow, and transform. Like we really came here to live an abundant life, not an overwhelming and full of anxiety life.
I love that. And simplifying is the way to get there. And it's just one step at a time. And I love your energy. You're non judgmental. You've been through this before, and you have the simple tools to get there. Because some of us, yeah, we can watch a decluttering show and go for it. But others are saying, I'm feeling like I continue to get stuck. I do this once a year, and then the clutter just accumulates around me. I need a a system and I need some support. And that's why we work with parents and moms, because you don't have to do this alone. And this little bit, this 3-month stint with you can change the trajectory of their lives and their children's lives, because children learn what they live. And why not us? Why do we have to make sure everybody else is okay, but we're struggling in silence? And I love that you are on this journey and that we were able to meet and we were able to share your story. So thank you so much, Ella. Any last words before we finish up?
Thank you for having me. No, I just want to really motivate moms not to be afraid to invest in themselves, because it's not an expense, it's an investment. And we spend so much money on like meaningless things.
You're right.
And how we do and how we present ourselves, our kids are watching. So they're going to be repeating exactly the same things. And they for sure want a happy mom, not a mom that is overwhelmed. And I know that you have also amazing tools helping them with that.
Yes, I love that. It's an investment. And
Yes,
that is
it's an
exactly, we
investment.
need to invest in ourselves. Well, thank you, Ella, and thank you
Thank you.
everybody for listening. And I hope you got some great tips, and let's support each other more. And I can't wait to hear more from you, Ella.
Thank you so much, Michelle. That was awesome. Thank you.